Gonna talk about 3 years of consistent experience supplementing homemade colloidal indium. Hi everyone, love you, appreciate you, thanks for watching. In this portion of the video, I'm going to primarily give my own anecdote. It's going to be pretty long. I'm going to go in depth about my 3 years of supplementing indium and also talk about my overall supplementation of all colloidal minerals. Well, most of them. I only talked about three main ones that I've already made videos about. And prior to starting with my anecdote, I'm going to talk about how indium is used in the real world. What type of usages does it have? What do they use indium for actually? Before I start, here's a book that I ordered this last week, and it's copyrighted year around 2000, and it's from Dr. Robert Lyons. It's one of the authorities or the main knowledgeable people on indium in the diet. And another person, if you're interested, if you want to do some deeper research, is Dr. Henry Schroeder. Schroeder spelled Schroeder. Dr. Henry Schroeder. So you can Google those names if you want to do your own more in-depth research and kind of follow that information trail. This book, I was disappointed in it. I bought it on Amazon. It was about $8, but most of what was in here, maybe 80%, I could find on the internet. So it was a bit of a disappointment, but I learned a few things, so it was a complete loss. Anyway, let's get started with the video. So in this portion of the video on colloidal indium, I'm going to give my own anecdote about my whole experience in supplementing colloidal indium. I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, and just a lot of the details about my whole experience with it. My whole experience was overall very positive and very favorable, so there's not really any ugly. However, there are some precautions, things that you want to pay attention to, and I'm going to talk about those things based on my own experience. And remember that
I'm just a guy on the
internet. I'm nowhere near being an authority on this, or like a doctor or any position of guidance for anyone. This is just me sharing my experience, so take it as that and don't look into it any deeper than that. Okay, so let's get down to it in this anecdote, me sharing it. Now, the way I'm going to talk about this, I guess, and I think the best way is to kind of talk about my other experiences with other colloidal minerals as well, in order to compare the colloidal indium. It'll give the information that I give on it more depth, and it'll make it more real and understandable, I think, and relatable. Well, relatable if you've actually tried the other colloidal minerals, but it will be relatable also because it'll be giving you other information to mix, match, and compare with. Okay, so I'll start by I started my colloidal mineral experimentation journey about 5 years ago, and the first one that I played around with was the colloidal gold. And the reason how I came to learn about the colloidal gold, which I first gained exposure to probably about 10 years ago, the colloidal gold, I ended up making the colloidal gold because I learned about monatomic gold, which is supposed to be the most potent form of it. And there was too many steps, so I ended up doing the colloidal gold because it was easier and simpler, and I understood the process. And with the colloidal gold, and I'll try to keep this short in talking about other colloidals because this video is dedicated to colloidal indium. With the colloidal gold, I actually bought my first experimental bottle of it, and I was so impressed with that I bought. It was it's called the name of the brand was Ormans. They had like a gold label. I bought it on Amazon, and I was so impressed with it and how it made me feel that I looked into how to make it myself, and I really
Watch my
studied
video on
and
making
learned
colloidal
about
gold and
other
colloidal platinum. Links
videos,
below.
read tutorials, read a lot, as much as I could on it before actually doing it myself, and I made my own, and I was pretty impressed with what I made, even more so, and also it helped me be more confident in, like, making a decision to do so, because I don't have to worry about me getting a faulty product or a product that's not true to what they say. I know if I do it, I get exactly what I'm trying to do if I do it right. But with the gold, so let me go on and make this short. With the gold, the overall experience or overall feeling of it is you have this strong sense of peace, calmness, and everything seems very together psychologically. It's very good for your mental processes. It kind of makes everything seamless and it flows together. It makes it feel like you have great control over a lot of things, whether you do or not. It just makes you feel that way, and sometimes it's all that matters, feeling that you have the control. And they say it raises your IQ. I believe that. Do I know for sure? No, but I believe that because I experimented and I was very impressed with it. The next one after that, I continued on. I was so impressed with the gold that I decided to keep going and learn about others. I figured if I didn't know about this one, what other rare minerals that I don't know about that are beneficial? And the next one I went to was platinum. So, like, as I'm doing these, I'm buying the metals, the precious metals, and I have to make sure that they're completely pure, like 99.9% pure. So that's what I'm looking for. Anything less than that, I wouldn't trust. So I'm looking for the purest, most purest that I can find. So I have to study and find out what's pure, what's not pure, what are the most reputable manufacturers and things like this. So it's kind of a stringent process in my whole journey and learning about all of this. But with the platinum, I bought an ounce, and price starts to become a bit of a difficulty, because precious metals are expensive, and I'm buying them at the per ounce. But you don't have to get an ounce. You can get a very, very small amount for a fraction of that and still use that, and it'll last you for a very long time. We got the police or the ambulance in the background, but it's the 4th of July. That's the police. So I guess they're doing their thing, doing their job, keep us safe. And with the platinum was quite different from the gold, and this is why I'm talking about these different ones other than indium, because they all, just to say that they all have very different functions, and they don't nearly do the same things. They do certain specific things. So it's kind of like what you're looking for and what you're trying to achieve should be the basis on why you choose these. But with the platinum, the overall sensation or feeling that I got from it was kind of mental, like the gold. The gold is very, very mental. With the platinum, the mental aspect is you have a lot of focus on whatever it is that you're doing. It just kind of zooms you in on the moment. That was the effect that I got from it. But aside from that, it increased my skill-based performance. Things that I had to do physically that required some type of a skill, whether it's just with your hands or whether you're playing a sport. But it helped tremendously with that. It kind of like coordination and like moving things that require intelligence of the body to move and coordinate. The platinum helped a lot with that. And I guess I'll talk about like one reason why I use it, or the gauge that I use these to kind of figure out the effectiveness. I'll share that with you in a moment. yeah, so let's talk about the indium. Let's talk about indium. So with the indium, the effect that I got from the indium was that, and I discovered it on my quest, just looking for colloidal minerals and trying to find out, which ones are what type of benefit or effect you get from them. And when I look for benefits and effects, I'm looking for long-term, life-sustainable things. I'm not looking for something that's just going to make me powerful 1 minute and then shut me down later. I'm looking for things that'll sustain me over a lifetime. So those are usually my goals when I look for things, because I typically don't really substitute any vitamins at all, or I try to keep it natural. But with uh, the indium, it's if the key words is that I think relate to it is recovery and sustainability. It gave me a great sense of I was well recovered. I recovered a whole lot better with it, and I could cope better, like my energy demands of my body. I could cope better over a day. Like I could get by on a lot less. Like I could go longer in between meals and stay performing. Stay. I can't say perform, but I stay energetically satisfied. The further you go from a meal, the more grumpy you get, or the more you lose focus. The indium kind of erased that sensation from me, and it's really impressive, I think. And not to say that I didn't get hungry, because you still get hungry, you still feel that you're uncomfortable and you're losing energy, but you're still able to perform in the face of that. That was my experience. And I was getting by on it. One thing that it did, it helped me get more out of my nutrition. When I eat a meal, the it's like you absorb the meal better. You feel more. I feel like you got more vitamins and you got more nutrition, more efficiency out of your meals. That was the effect that I got. Like I didn't change my diet or anything. I just did that one supplement, and I was getting more out of my meals. And even like I like to drink wine on a somewhat regular basis, and even I was getting more recovery out of drinking my wine. I noticed that. And the other effect that I got from it was sleep. I could get by on less sleep. And the way you can gauge this, or the way that I gauged it, was that I noticed that I would wake up earlier than my alarm because I was well rested and I didn't need any more sleep. A lot of times with the alarm, it goes off and you just want to lay there. But with the supplementing the indium, I wake up before the alarm, and I'm kind of ready to get out of bed before the alarm goes off. So it was that type of effect. Or the getting by on the same amount of sleep, but feeling fresher. And in terms of physical fitness, and I'll talk about physical fitness for all three of these minerals that I just talked about: the gold, the indium, and the platinum. Yeah, gold, indium, platinum. So with the colloidal indium and for physical fitness, like what I do, I'm a runner, and I pretty much supplement my running with calisthenics and weightlifting, and I do those things to be a better runner. I like to do it that way, to like have a goal in like staying fit. With the key word again with the colloidal indium is recovery and sustainability. And of course, my sleep was better, so I'd be fresher. I typically wake up very early in the morning and do my run, so you wake up fresher and ready to go, and that helps a whole lot on your own motivation. So I was able to. It made me look forward to doing my runs in the morning, and actually doing my runs. The indium had very beneficial effects on helping me sustain my runs. My runs are typically the average time of the runs that I do is about 50 minutes. 50 minutes, and most of them go over an hour, but I'd say average time is like 50 minutes. And what I noticed with those runs while supplementing the indium is that the I didn't really feel like I was getting tired. Like you're like you run and you there's breathing and all of this, breathing hard and all of this, and you expect to get tired with that. A lot of the tiredness just wasn't really perceived, and it's kind of like you're running, you're moving, and the whole perceiving the tired part is kind of out of there. Even if you're breathing hard, a lot of that pain goes away, and it's like the body's sustaining itself a lot better. So I noticed it with that, and using this as a reference because you're doing this for an hour, so you can really pay attention to how you feel over an hour, not just something you do for a couple of minutes and then you stop. You going for an hour. You can see the improvements quite easily. And another thing I noticed regarding the physical fitness and was that after I would finish my runs, what I noticed with supplementing indium, I would normalize super fast. I mean, my heart rate would go back to normal, even if I was because typically I would do like the last quarter very fast, because that's when my body's all warmed up and I'm at the end, so I kind of just kick it, and my heart rate goes back to normal very easily. The blood flow goes back to normal like very quickly. I'm talking like 1/3 of the usual time, and you're back to normal much quicker. And the aftermath of like doing the exercise or the run, you're going to take it's going to be about 4 hours to where you recover back. Sometimes you don't recover at all. You don't perceive being recovered at all. You just stay kind of drained until you go to bed. What I noticed is that I was back to like normal, like average myself in a very short amount of time, probably 1/3 of the time. So I'm back, not ready to go to bed, but I'm it's like I'm all the way recovered. I could do other things and be more productive in those other things. So that's indium in a nutshell in regard to the with my life stuff, like going to work. Over the past few years, I've been a teacher, which I discontinued last year, and with doing that type of a job, you have to kind of stay on your toes and expect the unexpected. Someone may ask a certain question, or someone has a certain people change a lot in the classroom. You got to stay kind of focused on it. It's not something that's like really repetitive. It can be repetitive, but you're always gonna be put on your toes a lot, and sometimes some different things will happen. You have to respond and think. With that, I was way more adept to handle those situations. Even like I just mentioned earlier about eating less food. I could eat just breakfast, a good strong breakfast, and go through my whole day teaching and being in a classroom environment and helping people, talking to them, and still give a pretty good account of myself. And I thought that was pretty special when in reference to me using this supplement and the effects that I got from it. So to give more depth on the indium, let me talk about the gold and the platinum regarding the things I just talked about. Now again, I'll keep it quick. With the gold is very just mostly mental, and it keeps your emotional and psychological well-being, and that's huge. Don't underestimate that. The physical, I can't really call it a physical thing, but your well-being affects your motivation, which carries over to the physical. But a lot of it was mental, and the mental mind states, and they're very numerous. Your different psychological states, and the gold kind of ties those together and makes you really kind of smart. And what's the word when you can go from the next phase to the next easily? I can't think of the word, but you're very adaptable and changeable, and you can morph into the next type of thought or reality. Can't think of the word. so like it didn't help my physical fitness that much, but in the classroom it helped out. And when I'm just doing my own personal educational things, reading books and stuff, it helps out a lot with that because your concentration is deep and you're all the way in the book or all the way in the activity. With the platinum, it's just the focus. It didn't really go into, it didn't really tie together other parts of my psychology like the gold did, but it gives you great focus. And with the skilled and physical skilled on activities, it was real good on that. So it did some things that the gold didn't really do in terms of activities. Like I could kind of multitask pretty well with the colloidal platinum. Actually, the gold is a better multitasking supplement, and the platinum, what it did for physical fitness, which the gold didn't really have much emphasis on, much effect on it, was it was able to help me just really have mind control over what I was doing. Like, for example, doing the runs or doing my calisthenics, you have great mind to muscle connection and control, and you get a lot more power out of the activities that you do because everything's the nervous system is kind of the nervous system is like it's connected. And when I say it's connected, like you do things, you could feel it's like you feel the electricity going through your muscles and when you do a certain activity, and you have more control over that, if that's a good way to put it into words. So now let me talk about combining these types of colloidal minerals, and me combining the indium with other colloids. If I had to give advice, I would say don't combine them. I just do one at a time, or at most do two at a time. Don't go any further than that, and I would just keep it one at a time. And I would take time off from every now and then. Now with the colloidal indium, I've done it for the past 3 years, like on a continuous basis, 3 years. And out of the 3 years, I've done it 2 years. So 2 out of 3 days for the past 3 years, I've supplemented the colloidal indium. And when I say supplemented, I'm talking about the version that I make myself, which I will show you in the part 3 of this video how I make it myself. I give you a in-depth, full length tutorial of how I do it and talk about my steps and everything, and give my opinions. With combining it, it worked. I thought it worked best by combining it with the colloidal platinum, because the platinum it increases muscle power and coordination, while the indium increases recovery and helps you sustain better while you're doing exercise, like carry that oxygen and stuff, those sustainability type of things. So I felt that it went really well together, supplementing those two. Now, as far as the gold, using it with gold, I didn't really see much effect out of it. But then again, I didn't really see much into it. But I guess I could see how other people could benefit from it. Everyone's different. Gold and platinum, they have an interesting effect together, but I found it got confusing at times to try to gauge on what's doing what and if it's actually working. And that's kind of like my cutoff point. Like when I'm supplementing something or combining supplements, and when I start to not feel anything or not know what's what, that's the point where I stop for a while, like whether it be a couple of days or whether it be a month, which takes me to the next topic. How long? With these, again, I try to do things that are sustainable over a lifetime, that I think you need over a lifetime. I try to avoid things that are like quick answers. With the indium, I've done it for 3 years, and here and there I would take about a month to 3 months off here and there. Oftentimes I would take it 6 months at a time. That's the usual, the norm. And I guess the reason why there was no plan or anything, I guess the reason why I did it that way was because I think I got too used to doing it, and when you start getting used to doing these, you start to not really know that you're doing it, and not really have a goal anymore, and you stop understanding what feeling that you're feeling. And that's what I do. When I start not feeling it or not recognize the feeling, I take the time off and then come back, and then you feel it again, and then you understand, you remember what that feeling was like. And or sometimes what I believe, you're saturated already and you have enough, and you could take that time off, because these are minerals that, just like with minerals that you get from food, you only need so much, and the body can store it, and your body has limitations on what it can store. Some of it it can store easily. Some of it doesn't really store at all. And with me, it's highly experimental. There's not much literature on, well, that's available to us. I'm pretty sure there is behind the scenes. You know how that works, on how to use these as nutritional supplements. A lot of the literature will tell you that they're not nutritional supplements and they serve no purpose in the human body. But if you've seen the part 1 of this video, Indium has roles in human nutrition, but they will tell you it doesn't. But that's a lie. That has to be a lie, because from my experience in supplementing it, I've gotten the benefits are so good. You just go to the next level on your health. Just kind of goes to the next level, and your recovery just kind of goes to the next level. So I don't see how that could be true. But I understand that it's just a matter of the research catching up to the present day, and the patent just got put on colloidal indium. Actually, indium as a food supplement around 1980. So you know how that works. It takes about 30 years for after the information goes through all the trials and experimentation, and it takes about 30 years before it's trustworthy enough and they put it out there. So we're still behind on that, I think. As far as toxicity, my experiences with toxicity, I didn't really experience much toxicity. Again, if I just start to not feel it, I would just stop taking it for a couple of days or even months even. And this part's hard to talk about now because I can't show you. But if you look at the next portion of this video where I actually make it myself, I'll show you the dosages of it, and I'll show you how to modify the concentrations of the solutions that you make, and based on the concentrations of the solutions is how you'll gauge the dose. But if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I use a dropper or I use a spoon. If I have a fully saturated solution, one dropper would be the minimum dose, and that would, we're dealing with trace minerals here, so a little bit goes a long way. It's really not smart to try to overdose these, even though with the indium, which I talked about in the previous video, I think it takes a lot of it to be toxic. I mean, a lot. So it's hard to overdo it. But you don't want to be putting these things to the test, these rules to the test, or trying to test the limits on these things, because they're still relatively new regarding the information that's out for us to attain. Yeah, I've taken when I've gone kind of too high in the dosages, like I mentioned, one drop would be good. I've gone up to 5 drops of the highest concentration solution. I've gone up to 5 drops, and with that, I'll feel it. It'll be effective for a few days, a couple of weeks, but it'll trail off kind of after that. But if I just stick with the low dose and I just keep it that way, it doesn't really trail off. So I think it kind of goes back to stay with the lowest dose possible, and that's what worked for me. With these types of videos, I think is important. Again, I'm a nobody, so this is just for entertainment purposes only, to look at other people's anecdotes and their perspective which I'll drop a couple of links to other people's videos, at least the ones that I could find, and I would like for you to do the same thing as well. If you know some anecdotal videos, or you know some valuable information regarding this and how to use it and how it's used in nutrition, kind of that stuff that's being scrubbed and being blocked on the internet, that we're being blocked from each other to help each other learn. And the social media industry is just going very commercialized. It's all about advertisements, and the government has stepped in, so it's all about what they want, how they control the information. And it's getting pretty out of hand. And I say all that to say, follow me on Rumble. Follow me on Rumble too, because it's a free speech platform, and the algorithm, they have an algorithm, but it's way better than YouTube's algorithm in terms of freedom and reaching other people that have a like mind to you, or even people that don't have a like mind that you would still love to experience, because that's what the internet's all about. Well, that's how it used to be the great thing about it, but those days are numbered. I'm pretty sure I missed something in this video, and I'm not gonna search and ramble and say trying to find that information. So if you have a question for me, drop it down in the comment section below. I'll try to answer it the best I can, or let you know that I can't answer it, or give you directions on how to answer it yourself. That's my video. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. You all have a beautiful day. I'm out here in the park. It's the 4th of July. It's morning. Nature, beautiful, everything just perfection, and it's gonna be an incredible day, I think. Actually, I know, because I'm not gonna let it not be incredible. Anyway, you all take care of yourself. That's my video, and bye-bye.